I personally was raised in a household by a single parent, and that fact of us being two females, I never had gender roles. If the lawn needed mowed, I got to do it. If driveway needed shoveled, I got to do it. If we were refinishing the deck, I got to help. If we were building a grill, I got to help. There was no girl jobs, there were no guy jobs. It was, we got to do this, let's get it done. This is the same philosophy I raised my child with. Also, as a child myself, there were times where I wasn't allowed to have certain toys like He-Man or some little robots. I mean, they were huge to me at the time, but they like shoot stuff out of the arms and stuff like that. And it wasn't okay for me to have that type of stuff. So when my child picked up what would be called a girl toy, I didn't care. I openly bought a doll for my child because one of my feelings on life on why fathers walk away from families is because they do not know how to nurture. And I think that one way that people learn to nurture is through play. So yes, he had a doll, and it had a stroller and a crib, and he took care of this baby doll like it was a regular baby. He tried to feed it and tend to it like any good father would. My son always wore heels. From the time he could walk, he was putting mine on. And he never requested to have a pair of his own until his feet no longer could fit in mine. And when this came about, and because we were at a thrift store shopping for, at the time, my boyfriend's kids, and he flapped on a pair of heels and strutted around, and I specifically said, we can't have that pair because they're used, but we'll go get you a new pair so you can have your own stride in them and it won't mess up your steps. I did not think this was a big deal, but I didn't understand what it meant. I sought out a support group. It happened to be in the transgender community, and said, well, what do I do now? How do I handle this? What does this mean? Everybody said, well, who knows what it means? It's up to your child. Depends upon who they are. Just need to let them take their time and figure out who they are and be supportive and remind them that they're loved just as they are. My child did not feel as though he was male, I guess, totally, because he definitely didn't like to be called Mr. or Sir. And during this argument, I looked at him and said, well, does that mean you would rather be called Miss and Ma'am? And he, no. That wasn't the case either. So that's why the kid is just called the kid, because that's what it was. He was a kid. He was finding out and exploring life to find out what he identified with and what he felt comfortable with. And as for the heels and why I personally think he wore them, well, he always walked on his tiptoes when he wasn't in them. I think it was just a comfortable position that had made him just feel comfortable. You know how some people cross their legs or suck their thumb or whatever. It was just something that was soothing within him. And I think that's the reason why he also wore certain female articles. And it wasn't because they were female, but because they had a texture that brought comfort to him in times of need. For fact, I could tell where he was when he went to bed depending upon the outfit he put on. I miss him so much. I used to pace the floor waiting for him. I get so excited every time he called. I used to send him text messages when he loses his dad, saying, man, I miss your face. Send me a picture. I miss you. Because what I don't think a lot of people understand is that when he went to live with his dad, that was it for co-parenting. There were no phone calls saying, hey, you know what? Kid's doing good. He's being a teenager. He doesn't want to talk to you right now. Never. For a fact, it was a big joke. I wasn't even supposed to exist anymore. He wasn't supposed to talk to me. It was not okay for my child to contact me. His father made that blatantly clear the last time I spoke with him, because the child handed the phone over to his father because I wanted to support him going to Japan. I wanted to get him a Rosetta Stone, but Dad had really bad internet. And I said, well, if you can upgrade the internet, I'll pay for the Rosetta Stone. That won't happen. For one fact alone. Because my child stopped talking to people about how he felt. He stopped expressing that he was going to harm himself. And I can kind of understand why. As I sit here and get crucified by the people that he was living with and being supported by, and I hear about how when you have a mental illness, it defines who you are on the inside and makes you invaluable as a human. That's bogus. So bogus. I mean, we wouldn't have gotten to the moon half as fast if we didn't have people who thought differently than everyone else. We wouldn't have the internet or games, video games, tablet games, anything like that, if someone had not had the ability to think different than someone else. Our differences and our not normalcies sometimes is what make us needed in this world and make it possible for us to change the world for other people. So I'd like you to take a moment and think to yourself that if you feel like there is something about you that everybody says defines who you are, and you feel that that is not the truth, let it go. Just let it go. We can't stop people from being mean to us. Can't stop people from being cruel. We just have to know that as we are as human beings, we're trying to be the best human beings as possible. And on an ending note, my child who suggested that he wanted to give birth one day doesn't mean he necessarily wanted to be female. Just meaning he wanted to be experienced and a parent. For crying out loud, male seahorses give birth every day that baby's born of a seahorse. It comes from a guy. Kid was a nature nut. Loved documentaries. I mean, his birthday cake for his 5th grade party, he lost his bananas at Walmart because I got dinosaurs put on it. People at Walmart put the wrong Jurassic era dinosaurs because they would never have lived together. And he could tell you exactly which dinosaur it was and what era it was, and he was just upset. Just couldn't get over this. So if you're feeling different right now and you feel like you're not worthy, you are. And different is what makes the world change. And know that someone cares about you. Someone thinks you're awesome and loved as you are. And you don't have to be anybody else than the beautiful person you are. Because it won't stop people from being mean to you. Only self-defense you have to bullying is to be you and hold your head up high and know that you are being the best human that you can possibly be. Hope you all are having a better day than me.